So today we'll be starting with the first segment in our syllabus, that is cost accounting. In the previous class itself, we discussed that there are two segments. One is cost accounting, another is financial management. Both 50 marks we are having in the examination. Both are two different subjects altogether. So costing will study as a 100 marks paper in the final in second group, and financial management will be studying as another full 100 marks paper by the name strategic financial management at final level. So these two subjects what we study in IPCC will become two separate papers in the final level. So that is why the reason is not only to learn the subject for IPCC level, also have a strong foundation conceptually for you to understand the final level syllabus much more easily and comprehensively. So today we will be starting with the first segment, namely cost accounting. See, we are going to start today with the chapter called as cost classification and cost sheet. That is the first chapter in our workbook. This chapter is a very important chapter. The reason is we will be gaining the entry into the subject only through this particular chapter. The main disadvantage which I have in IPCC level is this subject you have not studied at the CPT level or school level. For example, accountancy means people need not introduce you to accounts. You already have studied the accounts for 2 or 3 years, either at the school level or a CPT level. We are going to get a continuation. Law will be heard in what CPT, we are going to continue and so on. But this subject we are going to learn for the first time. Okay, this is a new subject altogether. You are learning for the first time. For BCom students, probably they would have learned in their graduation. But for others, this is going to be the first time we will be learning this subject. Hence, we should have a entry level into the subject. We should have some terms understood, some computation understood and so on. For that only we are getting this particular chapter discussed very elaborately called as cost classification and then cost sheet. Just to give you an idea, whenever you think about accounts, tell me what should come to your mind? Accounts, what should come to your mind? Yeah, P&L account, balance sheet. Is that correct? All accounts chapter, I'll go and ends up in which chapter? Balance sheet and P&L account. Whatever chapter you study, it finally gets into the financial statements of P&L account and balance sheet. It may be a partnership accounts, it may be what? A company accounts, it may be a branch or department accounts which may be studying at the IPCC level, it may be a holding company which you study in what? Final level. Any chapter you read, ultimately the chapter will be linked to what? P&L account and then balance sheet. So P&L account and balance sheet is the objective of the accounting system around which all the chapters revolve around. Everybody, right or not? And you all know P&L account, balance sheet, yes or no? You all know it thoroughly or not? One cannot say so because you may know something about P&L and balance sheet. So at this stage, okay, how you learn P&L balance sheet in school level, CPT will be getting much more clarity, right? Yes or no? How you learn the P&L and balance sheet at CPT, now after completing IPCC, much more clarity will be obtained because in CPT you don't know about branch accounts, you don't know about what departmental accounts. So accounting standards you may not be very much aware about. I think you're all following or not. So prior period items or a depreciation, all this what happens, or employee benefits, like that we have so many accounting standards. There are some new chapters like branch, departmental account, etc. All those you have not learned in what? CPT, but we'll be learning it in what? IPCC. We'll be getting a much more better idea about the P&L balance sheet, yes or no? Compared IPCC, final will be having what? Much more better clarity because there we discuss about how to reflect in balance sheet, instruments like swaps, financial instruments, or it may be a gratuity benefits. Like that, so many standards are there in the final level. You learn much more about P&L balance sheet in final level, right or not? In that case, all of you have learned P&L balance sheet. learning P&L balance sheet will also learn what? P&L balance sheet. It's a continuous process. Yes or no? Same way only in our subject cost accounting, I am going to now start with an area called as cost sheet. We are discussing an area called as what? Cost sheet. That cost sheet will be learning in another 3 or 4 classes the preparation of cost sheet, how it looks like, all this will be learning. How P&L balance sheet is for an accounting system, like that one can just put in that place what? Cost sheet for a cost accounting system. All the chapters which we learn in the cost accounting, I'll be linking back to what? Cost sheet. How it will be presented in cost sheet. We'll discuss, for example, a treatment of material normal loss, abnormal loss. How it comes in cost sheet. We'll be discussing about process costing. How that is going to reflect in what? Cost sheet and so on. Overheads, under absorption, over absorption. How it comes in cost sheet, like that. So many things I'm saying, you may not be able to understand it. But whatever I discuss, I'll be linking back to what? The chapter called as cost sheet. So cost sheet you will learn now. You will also continue to learn in future also. You will be learning what? Much more further. It is also never ending. You will be having more and more clarity as we discuss more and more chapters in the costing regarding the cost sheet. Just to make you understand the primacy or the importance of the chapter which I am going to discuss now. So now tell me, in our subject, the main statement which I am going to discuss is what? Cost sheet, around which the entire subject generally revolves. Everybody following up? Now, this cost sheet will be prepared later in form of a ledger accounts in a chapter called as cost ledger accounting. Okay, so there is a separate accounting system for costing. How that is going to work only will be mainly discussed in this area, cost accounting. Can I proceed? Now, here I just want to make one caution before I proceed. In the beginning, it may seem that it is very general. You are not getting clarity. What you are discussing, we are not able to get a full grip over it. You need not worry about that. Whatever learn in the same course. So as we learn more and more and more, the clarity will be automatically obtained. Just to give a simple idea, when in 11th or 12th on the school days, when they introduced to journal entries or what ledger and all, did you know more about them? Or you felt confused or very clear? First instance itself. You may not be knowing why it is being done. So what is journal? Why debit receiver? Why credit giver? All those rules are given. And somehow you just want to manage to learn it. But more and more and more you learn, you automatically got the clarity. I don't know that. Now, you understand that you are now only in that situation where we are going to learn a new subject. So first instance, everything cannot be understood. Everything cannot be what? Visualized. There should be some patience in you for you to stand for 4 or 5 chapters. I can say, once I complete cost ledger accounting, you will be getting a full grip over what? This particular subject, cost accounting. I have to go through cost sheet, then we'll be discussing a chapter called as marginal costing, a very important chapter called as overheads, and then we'll move to what? Cost ledger accounting. It will take another 1.5 months for you to what? Get a grip over it. Once we cross cost ledger accounting, at that time you will be understanding everything pakka, then we'll be beginning to what? Enjoy the subject, think on it own. Everybody following on. Till that time, don't get afraid. Everybody will be only in a very hazy way of understanding it. I don't say you don't understand everything fully, not so. Sometimes you may not be understanding in one context what a particular thing is being discussed. That will be gradually understood. You need not worry. By the end of this batch, you can teach costing and FM. Can I proceed or not? Now, patience should be there. You should be listening patiently, and just whatever is done in the classroom, first start revising till a particular stage. Once we cross a stage, I'll tell you when to start revising from practice manual as well as what? The study material. Okay, now we'll now start with the first area called as cost sheet, and then cost classification or cost classification, and then we'll be discussing the cost sheet concept. Okay, see. Now, first of all, let us understand the meaning of the term cost. Okay, what do you mean by cost? What do you mean by cost? Question here. What are the costs here? Okay, cost is an expenditure incurred. Okay, one meaning given. Any other meaning? Number? Price of an Okay, price of a product is what a cost. Okay, cost is price of a product. Any other meaning? Remember? Value of a product. Cost is something but what? Value of a product is the cost. Any other meaning? Okay. Three answers I got. So one person said cost is means expenditure incurred. Cost is the price of a product. Cost is the value of a product. So many say definitions have been given for the word cost. Now, let us. I don't say that all of them are what wrong. We cannot say everybody is right also. Only a partial aspect of cost has been given. Okay. Somebody said price of a product is not a cost. Okay. So the price, I mean your purchase price. Okay. You purchase a product, the price you call as what? Cost. Okay. It is one of the costs. You call as what? The purchase price. Everybody following not. And somebody said what? Value of the product. I just want to don't differentiate too much. Value and price I almost what? Equal to it. I pay the price to get the value of the product. That can be called as a cost. Another person said much more better. It is nothing but what? Expenditure incurred. Whatever you are spending is called as what? Cost. We pay salary. We call as what? Salary, wage cost. We pay rent. We call as what? Rent cost and so on. So expenses incurred are also what? Cost. So these are all the definitions which has been given by so few of you regarding the term cost. Can I say now? You are right or wrong? You are not wrong. You just want you are not wrong. But I cannot say you are fully correct. Okay. Now, with a small example, I'll tell you not the meaning of cost. I'll tell you cost is something broader than what you have defined. Okay. Somebody said cost is what? Expenses. Expenses means what? Paying out of pocket something. We call it as expenses. Okay. Let's take an example. We always have to start with a very auspicious note. Now, say you passed CA. Happy or not? You passed what? CA. Okay, happy or not? Okay, now you have passed CA. You have cleared the CA examination. Final examination has been cleared. First attempt and also in what? Rank. First attempt and then what? Rank. My question is, what will you do next? So what you will do next? Tell me what you will do next. Somebody said marry. So before you marry and after you clear CA, something you have to do in between. Yes or no? What you can do? You have to start yearning. Yes, you have to start what? Yearning. Okay. Two famous options everybody says. One is what? Employment. Another is what? Practice. Okay. The two opportunities. One is employment. Another is what? Practice. Okay. See, you cleared CA, that too with a rank, and institute, campus, you have got a call. Okay, I have a campus call in the institute. There's an interview. So you attended the campus interview. The employers are well satisfied. They offered you a pay package. Okay. Suppose the offer for employment is, for example, 80,000 per month. Because of rank, it is how much per month? 80,000 per month is the offer made to you. Respond. Yes or no? Tell me. Will you accept the offer or will not accept that? The question is no. That is, you have to make a decision whether to accept the campus offer or not. Correct? No. You have passed CA, that too with what? Rank. Otherwise, this will not be offered. That too with what? Rank. And the institute campus offered you a salary of 80,000 per month or 9.6 lakhs is a package per annum, round off to 10 lakhs. Tell me, will you accept or will not accept the offer? Tell me. Yes or no? The employer asking, I am the employer. Tell me, offer accepted or rejected? Tell me. Yaar rejected? Okay. So, who all will reject? Raise your hand. Very greedy. Okay. Who all will accept? Raise your hand. Now, others, what they are going to do here? Campus or okay. Don't sleep in campus. You have to be alert. Yes or no? Tell me. Or answer you want. Yeah. Okay. Hand raising, very simple. Now, and one thing, if my mathematics is right, if I ask you to raise hand for two mutually exclusive questions, the total number of hands raised should be equal to the strength of the class. Can I say? Now, tell me, those who will accept that offer, raise your hand. Okay. Those who will reject the offer, raise your hand. Still not tallying. Okay. Trial balance. It is not tallying. Okay, now, please. Leave it. Okay. I don't want to make you exercise once again. Can I proceed? Now. Others are all what sleeping, huh? Awake or not? Now, see. The question can be answered only when I have further data. Okay. 80,000 rupees, is it enough or not? Is a question. It's a subjective question. We have to make a decision. And 80,000 per month is offered. Is it enough or not? If it is enough, you will accept. Not enough means what? You will reject. Right or not? No. In that case, suppose if you don't go for employment, you have another opportunity called as what? Practice. Say, your father or relative is having a great practice. They are asking you to join them, or even your auditor is having what? Auditing firm is a big firm where they are inviting you to become what? Partner in that particular firm itself. Or your father itself is having what? A big audit firm in which you can just straight away join as what? Partner, dynastic, yes or no? In that case, there is also another option available to you. Everybody understood or not? Now, in that case, you evaluated the above option and then felt that the practice when you join, it is a big firm already we are in, and you are a valued, articles there itself. Now you are there with rank and they will be able to generate great business. The firm is in a, breakthrough case where they are now going to become much more bigger. And they say, we offer you a practice income of around 90,000 per month. How much per month there? 90,000 per month. Or even if you join with your father, you can develop the business easily. Earn how much? 90,000 per month is the situation. Now answer my question. Everybody should answer here. I don't want people to sit quiet. Should you go for the employment? That is, you have to make a decision now. What is the decision? Whether to join employment, not join employment. Tell me your decision. Join or not join? Join employment or not join employment? Okay, in one of the batch they said, no, still I will join employment. I don't want to be with my father. Yes or no? Always a nuisance. I'll be going for what? Employment, 1 rupee, enough. Okay, I'll escape. Okay, that is what factor? Non-financial factor. Leave that. Yeah, financially tell me, employment, don't go for employment. Don't go for employment. Okay, you are right. What we do is, in our subject, we present this as a statement. We present this as what? A statement. Okay, we are making a decision. Yes or no? We are making what? Decision. Can I make a decision by putting a coin toss? Head means join employment. Tail means what? Go for practice. Can I put the toss like that and make a decision? This is what Rajinikanth does. Yes or no? Shivaji, what he did? Yeah, he put the toss coin. Yeah, head means what? Right path. Tail means what? Wrong path. Correct? Or head means what? Head means wrong path. Tail means what? Right path. He did it. We all saw. They paid money and watched the movie. Written or not? No. So that decision is right or wrong? It is not the decision based on information. The decision based on what? Chance. Okay. Always we should make what decision? Informed decision. So any decision you should make, how will make a decision? By doing a cost-benefit analysis. What analysis? Cost-benefit analysis. When I go for this decision, what is the benefit I will be getting? What is the cost for me? Yes or no? If the benefit is more than cost, I will go for the decision. If the benefit is not more than cost, I will not go for the decision. Accept it? Yes or no? No. Tell me. The decision is whether to join what? Employment or not. Please tell me. There is a benefit of going for the employment and there is also what? Cost. Tell me, what is the benefit of joining the employment? I get the salary of how much rupees? 80,000. So the benefit of going for the employment is what? 80,000 salary. What is the cost of going for the employment? I lose 90,000 practice income. Yes or no? Isn't that correct? No. By deciding to go for employment, the benefit I receive is what? 80,000. The cost I'm going to have is what? I lose 90,000. Is benefit more than cost or not? No. What do you do? Reject the employment offer. Right or not? That is how mostly in decision making areas we make a decision based on cost benefit analysis. Yes or no? My question is this 90,000 expense? Am I paying anybody 90,000? I am giving check to anybody 90,000 or not. Is it a salary paid, rent paid, is it an expense or not? No. It is not at all expense. Still they call it as what? Cost. Can tell the name of the cost. You already should know what is the cost. Opportunity cost. We call it what? Opportunity cost. It is also a cost only, right or not? That means what I wanted to convey is cost is something which is broader than what? Expense. That should be understood in a different angle. Everybody following on. So this 90,000 is not an expense. Still I call it what? A cost for the purpose of decision making. In the right or not. So in that case we also give a name for that. We give the name called as what cost? Opportunity cost. In the right or now. That means we come back to the question. Sir, you have been always saying I am wrong, he is wrong, etc. Because then you say what do you mean by cost? Okay, cost is not an expense. It is much more broader than what? Expense. It is broader than the word price or value what you use. Then what do you mean by cost? How to define cost is the next issue. Yes or no? Now, the cost will be defined in a very broad way. The ICMA has defined the cost in a very, very broad way. Let's see the definition. So many definitions there, but this definition seems to be very much convincing and much more easily understandable. The meaning of the word cost, and then proceed to the next stage. Can I proceed? Now, first, cost means what? Cost means any sacrifice made. Cost means what? Any sacrifice made. We call it what? Cost. By going for the employment and sacrificing what? Practice income, hence becomes a cost. Yes or no? So the broader definition of cost means what? Any sacrifice made will be called as what? Cost. Point number one. Yes or no? Okay. See, I am coming to the class. So MT Jigar, I am saying with the MT Jigar now. I am daily coming to the class here at morning 6:15. At morning what? 6:15. I am making a sacrifice or not? Yes, I am making what? Sacrifice or not? Yeah. What is that I am sacrificing? Sleep. Yeah, correct or not? Never I have seen a sun rising. So because before the sun rises, I am here inside the room. Are you following what I am saying? So cost means what? Sacrifice made. For empty jigger, I am sacrificing what? My sleep. Daily I have to wake up at 4:30 or 4:45, come to the class. So no, I am sacrificing my sleep. Yes or no? I come to the MC, I go to MT and say, see, for you one cost is there. What is it there? Raja Gopal sleep. Okay, because it is what? Sacrifice. Can I call it a cost or not? It cannot be called because it should be quantifiable in what? Monetary terms. Okay, I am sacrificing sleep, I may sacrifice family, etc. Okay, so many things can be sacrificed here, but it should be quantifiable in what? Monetary term to be classified as a cost. Yes or no? Something is a cost only if it can be quantified in what? Money terms. Everybody understood not? So what is a cost here? It is a sacrifice made that can be quantified in what? Money term can be called as cost. That's point number 2. Are you following? Okay, now, see, I am running a company. I am running a company or a factory, and nearby there is a temple. Nearby there is a temple. Sometimes a Vinayaka temple is there near the factory. Okay. So one fine day, the persons in temple management, they came to my office saying that we are going to renovate the temple. We are going to do Kumbhabhisheka Mandal for that particular temple. So please give me some donation. So what I did, I just took a check and wrote what? 10,000 and then gave it. Can I proceed? Sollupa now. I am making a sacrifice. No, sorry, 10,000 I am sacrificing for Vinayaka. So no, no. For the God, for Vinayaka, I am sacrificing how much rupees? 10,000 rupees. So no. Sacrifice made. It is sacrifice made. Quantifiable in what? Monetary term. 10,000 gone. So what is gone here? 10,000 gone. So for the God, I am sacrificing what? 10,000. Sacrifice made. Quantifiable in what? Monetary terms. Can I say it is a cost for my business? Is it a cost? Why it is not a cost? It should be for the purpose of what? Carrying on business or profession. Everybody follow not? So the sacrifice which I make should be for what purpose? For the purpose of what? Carrying on a business or profession. Then only we can classify it under what? Cost. Otherwise donation will not be treated as cost in our subject. Everybody following or not? I cannot write donation as a cost because it's not for the purpose of what? Carrying on the business or profession. So these three together should be satisfying the term what? Cost. Tell me what is a cost? Sacrifice made, quantifiable in monetary term for the purpose of what? Carrying on the business or profession. We can call it as cost. In the right or not? Now, in this definition, all the items will be what? falling into the definition of this cost is the broadest possible definition that perfectly captures the real spirit of what? The term cost. Innappa, right or not? So, now please copy this sentence before you go for the next stage. Okay, just a one-liner, write down meaning of cost. Meaning of cost. So at the outset, I am also telling you, consciously practice writing fast. It is also one of the attributes you should be having for a successful examination completion. So that you make it as a conscious effort, consciously try to write what? Fast. So that the speed should not be a problem in the examination. Okay. If you write fast, I am also having an advantage. I will be getting more time to discuss more aspects rather than staying idle for a copying time. Okay, try to write for as much as possible fast. Okay, and show some urgency in copying the slides. Whatever falls into this definition are all costs. I pay rent. When I pay rent, what I do? I sacrifice money. I sacrifice what? Money. Can it be quantified or not? Yes, we know the rent amount. Why you pay rent? To get the place to carry my business. It is for the purpose of what? Carrying on business. I purchase raw material. I either pay some money or not. I sacrifice money that can be quantified. Why I purchase material? For doing the production or carrying on my business, like that. Every item where a sacrifice is made for the purpose of carrying on the business or profession can be classified into the term cost. Whatever number fits into this definition will be called as cost in our subject. Understood or not? Now, all of us in this room are human beings. Yes or no? Others should not be having any doubt. Okay, outside the room. So all of us are what? Human beings. Every one of us here are human beings. Accepted? Okay, now, all of us are human beings, but the persons in this room can be categorized or classified in different ways, right? I can say ladies and gents. Yes or no? The persons in this class can be classified as what? Ladies, gents, right or not? Or I can classify as faculty students, right or not? Or I can classify as those who are staying in Chennai and those who are what? Coming from outstation. I can classify or not? I can classify those who are graduates, those who are not graduates, right or not? Now, I can classify based on what? Religion. Those are Hindus, those are Christians, those are Muslims, those are what? Jains, Buddhists and so on. I can classify on the basis of what? Religion. All the persons in the classroom, everybody yes or no? No. All are human beings only, but still we are classifying all the human beings in different ways. Is it possible or not? So classification always is done in the world from the beginning. Yes or no? Always we classify everything in the world. For example, all of us in the world are what? Human beings. You classify as Indian, non-Indian. Yes or no? Now, in that case, why we classify? Question arises now. Generally, everywhere classification happens. Even if you go for application form, they ask the cost. Yes or no? So, everywhere they classify. Everybody don't put everything in one basket. They always want classify. Everywhere classification happens. Why classification people are doing? Tell me. Classification is done for some purpose. Anytime we classify only for what? Some purpose. Always there's a purpose behind every classification. Right or not? For example, why should we classify the persons in the classroom as students and faculty? So that faculty can stand, student can sit. Yes or no? So rule, students are allowed to sit, faculty what? Should stand. Okay, in that case, those are all faculty stand, those are students who want to sit. One purpose is for classification. Yes or no? Or okay, I'll classify as those who are, say, What I say? Ladies, and then what? Gents. Okay. MTG application form item, male or female. Okay. Suppose MTG says female students, discounts are given. So what? Don't worry, yeah, or example only. Okay, so discounts are given to what? Girl students. Okay, in that application form, they don't ask whether you're CPT or BCom. They ask what? Whether you're a girl or what? Boy. Yes or no? If a girl student means what? 10% discount. Boy student means what? 10% extra. Is that what I'm saying? For example, okay, now. In such a case, then when they collect the data as what? Girls or boy, because the purpose is what? Giving discount to girl students. Yes or no? For example, they want to classify as local or outstation student. Suppose MTH is giving hostel services to an outstation student. In that case, in the application form, they will be asking what question? Are you Chennai or what? Outstation? Because there, the purpose is what? Accommodation, right or not? Indian, non-Indian. Why they classify Indian some benefits, non-Indian will not be given what? Benefits. For example, ration card will be given for what? Indian and not for what? Non-Indian. Then they don't ask men or women, they ask for what? Indian or non-Indian. Yes or no? So, everywhere different places, same database only, same set of persons only, classified in different ways. Right or not? Why we classify? To achieve some purpose, to achieve some objective, right? Same way, everything is cost. Everything is what? Cost only. But this cost we classify in different ways. We classify in what? Different ways. How the persons are classified as men, women, local outstation, faculty students, Indian, non-Indian, like that, all are cost only. The cost will be classified in what? Different ways. Variable fixed, product period, expired, unexpired, manufacturing, administration, selling, like that. Everything is cost, but we just want classify cost in different ways to achieve some purpose. Everybody understand or not? Why we classify cost? For what purpose we classify cost? What are those classifications? We'll be discussing in the first area called as what? Cost classification. No. So our first area to be discussed is what? Cost classification. In that what we discuss? Why we classify cost? For what purpose we classify cost? And what are the different types of cost classifications we'll be discussing. This is going to introduce to various cost terms and then concepts. Various cost terms and concepts. Because we are reading the subject for the first time now. In that case, we should be aware of certain terminologies, certain wordings used, certain concepts. All this we will be discussing in the first segment called as cost classification. Everybody have the clarity? Yeah? Can I proceed further? No. So we can copy this slide and then we'll start with our discussion. Now we are discussing now about the first chapter called as what? Cost classification. Now cost is classified for these three purposes and this is the slide. You copy this. The slide will be the subject matter of discussion in today's class and the next class. Okay, copy this quickly. Shall I proceed? Now, all over the world, they classify the cost. So all over the world, they classify the cost for the following three purposes. Namely, I want to classify the cost to calculate the company's profit and value the company's stock. Okay, what the first purpose of classifying a cost? To find out the profit of a company and to value the stock of a company. Second reason why I should classify cost is for the purpose of decision making. And third reason why I should classify the cost is the purpose of control. Or to put it in other words, I require cost. I require what? Cost details to find the profit and value in my stock. Yes or no? I require cost detail for making decisions. I require cost details for the purpose of control. Without great rocket science, yeah, simple. What is profit? What is profit? Sales minus cost. What is profit here? Sales minus cost. For that require cost or not? Correct? Now, that is to calculate the profit of an organization. MTH wants to calculate the profit. For that should require a cost detail or not. So I require cost to calculate my profit. Is or no? And there's a stock in the company. Suppose I have produced 10,000 units, sold only what? 8,000 units, 2,000 units still in stock. Is that is called as closing stock or not? Tell me, that stock will be valued at selling price or cost price? So to value stock, I should know cost, right or not? So I want cost to find out profit of a company, to value a stock of a company. Yes or no? The first purpose I want the cost. Right or not? Number two, I want a cost of making any decision, because just now I said when I make a decision, I see the benefit of the decision and what? Cost of the decision. We see the cost benefit analysis. Right or not? In that case, for making every decision, I require what? Cost. Cost is an important input data for decision making. Yes or no? Third, for control purpose. Control means managers don't always do work themselves. Okay. Who is a manager? Who manages others. Okay. Manager is going to get the work done through what? Others. Management is the art of getting things done through what? Others. About what the manager does. Question arises now. So I am the manager. What you are doing? I am getting work done through others. Then what you are doing? Yeah. Question arises now. In that case, who is the manager? He is going to delegate work and get the work done through others. Yes or no? When he delegates work, he'll be fixing a target. He'll be fixing what? Target. And later seeing whether they achieve the target or not. So in that case, that is what we call as control. We call as what? Control. Where targets are set and then what? You monitor them to see whether the targets have been achieved or not. In that case, we set targets in base of cost. You know what I'm saying? So we should spend not more than 10,000 rupees. You know, spend how much here? 12,000 rupees. Overspend. He'll be punished, dismissed from the organization for 2,000 extra spending. Right or not? In that case, I fix a target and then ask them to perform and then measure and compare with the target, the actual. That is what we call as control purpose. For controlling also, I require cost information or cost data. Everybody following or not? Now, these are the three main purpose for which an organization requires the cost data. What are three purposes here? To find out its profit and value its stock. Number two is what? For making decisions. Third is what? For the purpose of control. For all these three purposes, the cost are required. Yes or no? Everything is cost only, but they are classified in different ways for the purpose of these activities. Okay. Now, for the purpose of stock valuation and profit computation, I classify cost as what? Expired cost, unexpired cost, product cost, period cost, manufacturing, administration, selling and distribution cost, job cost and unit cost. These ways I classify. I classify persons as men, women. Yes or no? I classify as what? Outstation, local. I classify as faculty, student, Indian, non-Indian. All are persons I classify not. Like that, I classify the cost as what? Expired, unexpired. I classify the same cost as what? Product, period. Manufacturing, administration, selling, distribution. Job, unit cost. Why I classify this? Because I want to find out my company profit and value my stock. Are you following what I am saying? For that purpose, this is how you should classify the cost. Now, no, I don't want the cost for profit calculation. I want the cost for what? Decision making. Then don't classify in the first method. Classify in what? Second method. Classify cost as what? Variable, fixed, semi-variable, sunk cost, opportunity cost, marginal cost, etc. No. I don't want to classify cost for what? Decision making. I want to control. I want classify for what? Control purpose. Then classify as what? Controllable, uncontrollable. Same cost can be classified in what? Different manner. For what purpose you want cost, such a classification should be made. Everybody following or not? Now our aim is to learn all these boxes. And learn what? All these issues very elaborately. In that, I say that there are two classifications. One is product cost, period cost. Another is variable, fixed, semi-variable. These are going to be the two eyes of our subject. They are going to be what? Two eyes of our subject. What are the two eyes of our subject here? The classification product, period. Another is what? Variable, fixed and semi-variable. Around these two pillars only, the entire subject is going to be built around. Everybody following or not? There are some chapters which focuses mostly on what? Product, period, cost classification. There are some chapters which focus more on what? The variable, fixed, semi-variable classification. Are you following what I am saying? Examples you may not understand, just put into your ears. Chapters like cost sheet, which we are going to discuss now in the next class, cost sheet, or chapters which we are going to discuss later like process costing, cost ledger accounting. All those chapters will be mainly focusing on the product, period, cost classification. Everybody understood that? The chapters like marginal costing or capital budgeting, all this chapter with a decision making oriented chapter, mainly focusing on what? Variable, fixed and semi-variable classification. Everybody following on. So there are two pillars concept of a subject. What are two pillar concepts of a subject here? Product cost, period cost. And second is what? Variable, fixed and semi-variable. Whatever discussed in future chapter, I come back only into one of these two concepts for discussion. Everybody understood or not? Now, others are going to only revolve around this particular concept. So now we are going to discuss elaborately item by item for the cost classification. Now today we will try to first complete one, the first slot, namely expired, unexpired, product period, manufacturing, etc., job and unit cost. Can we start or not? Now, first of all, before we proceed, let us consolidate. Now, what is cost? Any sacrifice made for the purpose of carrying on business or profession that can be quantified in monetary terms. So whatever fits into the decision will be called as what? Cost. But these costs are going to be classified. Why we have to classify costs? For three purposes. Name the three purposes. Stock valuation and profit calculation, decision making, control. For stock valuation, profit calculation, tell me what are all the classifications? Expired and unexpired costs, product and period costs, manufacturing, administration, selling and distribution costs, job cost and unit cost are the way of classifying the cost for the purpose of profit calculation and stock valuation. For decision making, what are the main classification? Variable, fixed and semi-variable, and also sunk cost, opportunity cost, and then say last is what? Marginal cost. For the purpose of control, what are you going to discuss? Controllable and then uncontrollable cost. These are all the various ways in which the costs are going to be classified. Now can I start with the first slot or not? Now, let us start discussing about the first area called as what? Expired and unexpired cost. Okay, now I will discuss and then give you time to copy it. First listen and I will dictate whatever is relevant for you. Can I start or not? Now, see. Let's take an example. A company purchased 1000 kgs at 10 rupees. What a purchase cost? 10,000. It sold 800 kgs at 20 rupees. Revenue or income is how much? 16,000. So it is having a sales of 16,000. It is making a cost of what? 10,000. So it purchases for 10,000 and sells for what? 16,000. This is revenue. This is what? Cost. Sales minus cost gives you what? Profit. The profit for the company is 6,000. Yes or no? Yes or no? Those who say yes, raise your hand. Okay. Those who say no, raise your hand. Okay. People start. Opinion, yes or no? Those who are having hands, raise your hand. Now, I am not getting the total right. I will not allow you to proceed till I get all, till I see all your hands. Okay. Now, I leave for this question. So, most of you said what? No. Tell me why it is no. Yeah. Sales minus cost is what? Profit. Sales is 16,000. The purchase cost is what? 10,000. Profit is 6,000. What is wrong in that? Because you said what is going to be a closing star. Or to put it correctly, it is against matching principle. Against what? Matching principle. Right or not? Why it is against matching principle? I am comparing an 800 kg revenue with a 1000 kg cost. Correct? I am comparing what? 800 kg revenue with what? 1000 kg cost. It is not comparable. Yes or no? Very simple. A person was in 12th standard and you are writing IPCC. 12th standard boy said, I got 96%. How much you got? You said, I got only 60%. Very poor fellow IPCC, not getting 90%. Can I compare like this or not? 60% very great mark. In that case, that is not compared because we cannot compare 12th standard mark and what? A CA mark. Yes or no? A CA, some people ask, what is the percentage? Okay, why are you yes or no? Even after getting 70% in CA, where a rank may be obtained, people still want a D minus. 70% only getting, okay, my son got 98%. Where? Yeah, in 12th standard. Yes or no? See, in that case, the problem is we cannot compare apples and oranges, even though both are fruits. You cannot compare like that. We cannot compare the 16,000 and what 10,000 because they against one matching principle. You are comparing a 800 kg revenue with what 1000 kg cost. Right way to compare is compare 800 kg revenue with what? 800 kg cost. Can I present? Now, how you present it correctly here? See, 10,000 rupees is the cost. What is the cost here? 10,000. I branch this cost into two types. Cost of goods sold, cost of goods not sold. Now 800 kg sold, 200 kg what? Not sold. 800 kg sold is called as what? Cost of goods sold. Every kg, what is the cost here? 10 rupees. 800 kg, what is the cost? 8,000. So this 8,000 is called as what? Cost of goods sold. And then this kgs has been sold, hence the cost is called as what? Cost of goods sold. Is or not? Now, how many kg not sold? 200 kg. What is the cost of the 200 kg? 10 rupees. So 2,000 rupees is also cost only, is the cost of what? Goods not sold. Is or no? So there are two types of cost, cost of goods sold and cost of goods not sold. The cost of goods not sold only we call as the stock. We call as what? The stock. Stock value is nothing but what? The cost of unsold goods we call as the closing stock. My question is, will this 8,000 be reduced from the current year sales or not? Yes. Sales is how much rupees? 16,000 minus what is cost of goods sold? 8,000. Sales minus cost of goods sold gives you gross profit. Yes or no? In that case, from the current year sales, how much I reduce? 8,000. This 2,000 will be in this year transferred to next year. I credit in the trading account this year closing stock. When I credit the cost, it is taken out of this year trading. Yes or not? It's going to be debited in what? Next year. Take out of this year's trading account by crediting the trading account and put to what? Next year. By debiting next year trading account as opening stock. So the 2,000 rupees closing stock cost is taken out of this year, transferred to next year. Yes or not? And this 8,000 is what? Expiring in the same year. Hence, this 8,000 dies this year, leaves one more year. Dies this year. Somebody died. What do you say? He has expired. He has what? Expired. So this cost is called as what cost? Expired cost. Yes or no? Now, this 2,000 died living. It is jolly. It is living for what? One more year. Escape this year trading account. Enters into what? Next year trading account as what stock? Opening stock. That cost is dying. Living for one more year. Living for one more year. That cost is called as what? Unexpired cost. Respond. Are you following what I am saying? In that case, cost can be classified into two types, namely what? Expired cost and then what? Unexpired cost. Now, tell me, what is profit? Sales is 16,000 minus 10,000 or 8,000 or 8,000. Sales minus cost of goods sold gives you what? Profit. So 16,000 minus 8,000 gives you a profit of how much rupees here? Profit of 8,000. That's the correct profit you have to calculate. Enough right or not? Now, tell me, profit is equal to sales minus cost. This statement is right or wrong? Wrong. Profit is not equal to what? Sales minus cost. Now onwards, whenever I ask you what is profit, answer that profit is equal to sales minus expired cost. Profit is equal to what? Sales minus expired cost. Because unexpired cost is not the cost of this year. It goes to what? Next year as a next year cost. Respond, yes or no? So now onwards tell me, what is profit? Profit is equal to what? Sales minus expired cost is called as profit. Up to this, are you following or not? Now. So the definition is, what is expired cost? Expired costs are those costs which are charged against current year revenue. The word revenue means what? Sales. What is unexpired cost? Unexpired costs are carried forward to the next accounting year via stocks. We call as what? Unexpired cost. Up to this, everybody having the clarity or not? The first classification, namely expired and unexpired cost. Can I start up? Now, I'll just give you a few minutes time, copy this, write on. Shall I proceed? Now, just for the sake of understanding better, please open a trading account. How you normally present in accounts now? Now, write trading account. Open trading account. Okay. What are in debit side? 2 purchases. 2 purchases. How much is 2 purchases? 10,000. 2 purchases, 10,000. That's the amount they spend for purchasing the 1,000 kgs, right or not? Now, can you say what you write? By sales. How much is sales amount? 16,000. By sales, 16,000. Am I right or not? Next. Next is what? Buy closing stock. For the closing stock amount 2000. Buy closing stock 2000. Credit side total is 18,000. Okay. What we have here? 8,000. What is 8,000? Profit. Also called as to gross profit. Anything is 8,000. To gross profit 8,000. To gross profit 8,000. Respond. Are you following or not? Write down. Notes. Notes. Point number 1. I think you are finished copying with me or not? Write down. Notes. Point number 1. Profit not equal to sales minus cost. Profit is not equal to sales minus cost. But profit is equal to, please tell me, but profit is equal to what? Sales minus expired cost. First lesson, okay. Profit is equal to sales minus expired cost. Profit is equal to sales minus expired cost. Now you may ask a question, sir, what is expired cost now? Point number 2. Expired costs are those costs which are charged against current year's revenue. Expired costs are those costs which are charged against current year's revenue. Expired costs are those costs which are charged against current year's revenue. Which are charged against current year's revenue. Yes or no? Okay. Unexpired costs are carried forward. Unexpired costs are carried forward to the next accounting year. Unexpired costs are carried forward to the next accounting year. Unexpired costs are carried forward to the next accounting year. Unexpired costs are carried forward to the next accounting year. Okay. Stop writing. First lesson. Everybody able to understand or not? Now, after so much discussion, one thing is not, profit is equal to what? Sales minus expired cost. Can you proceed to the next stage or not? Now, let me put the next example and develop the discussion much more further. Okay. Now, see. The next discussion I'm going to make is called as what? Product cost, period cost. One of the very, very important discussions which is going to have a great impact in future chapters. In say material chapter called material losses. Normal loss is product cost. Abnormal loss is period cost. I'll discuss under absorption, over absorption, overheads. Where I can say it can be treated as a product cost. If it is due to normal reasons, period due to what? Abnormal, like that. So many areas in cost accounting, this classification is going to be discussed. Namely what? Product cost and period cost. Very simple, commonsensical only. Can I start or not? Now, look at this example. Material 50,000, wages 30,000, administration expenses 10,000, selling expenses 10,000. Total cost is how much? 1 lakh. Selling price 15 rupees. Production 10,000 units. Sold 8,000 units. This is detail given. Detail only you copy now before you go for the discussion. Okay, copy the details alone. For you to look at it. Okay, give the heading product cost and period cost. Have product cost and period cost. Please copy the details alone quickly. Shall we start now? Okay, now. We have to calculate profit. You have to calculate what? Profit. Tell me whether I am right or wrong. Okay. Selling price how much? How much? Yeah? 15 rupees. How many units sold? 8,000. 8,000 into 15 is equal to how much rupees? 1,20,000. Income or sales is 1,20,000. Yes or no? Cost is 1 lakh. Sales 1,20,000. Cost is 1 lakh. Profit is 20,000. True or false? Because we all said that it is against what? Matching principle. Profit is not sales minus cost. Profit is what? Sales minus expired cost. Right or not? No. That means the 1 lakh should be classified into expired and unexpired. And only expired should be reduced against what? Sale. Unexpired goes into what? Stock. And go to next accounting period. Accept or not? No. Let me do it now. Please participate. What is, that is, again the detail is, this year I am spending raw material cost, how much? 15,000. Workers, how much I paid? 30,000. Administration expense means printing and stationery, office salaries, etc. can be called as what? Administration expense. Selling expense, examples are what? Advertisement, etc. Okay. All the cost spent is 1 lakh. What is the production? 10,000. Units sold is 8,000. Can I start or not? See. Cost is 1 lakh. What is cost here? 1 lakh. This I classify into two. What are two classification? Cost of goods sold and cost of goods not sold. Means you can call it as what? Closing stock. Now, what is the cost of goods sold? 8,000 units sold at 10 per unit. Yes or no? As selling price, yeah. Now, see, 1 lakh is the total cost. What is 1 lakh total cost? For producing how many units? 10,000 units. What is the cost per unit? Why you said 15? It is the selling price, yeah. Yes or no? What is the cost per unit? 10 rupees. 1 unit, the cost is what? 10 rupees. Yes or no? Now, see, how many units sold? 8,000. When I multiply the 8,000 with 15 rupees, I'll get sales. When I multiply with what? 10 rupees, I get what? Cost of goods sold. So I'm going to find out what? Cost of goods sold. So 8,000 units into how much rupees here? 10 rupees. The cost of goods sold is how much rupees? 80,000. Now, how many units not sold? 2,000. The 2,000 closing stock should be valued at 15 rupees selling price and 10 rupees cost price, 10 rupees cost price. Or the cost of goods not sold, 2,000 units into what? 10 rupees. Is how much rupees? 20,000. 80,000 is cost of goods sold and 20,000 is what? Closing stock. This is going to be reduced again what? Sales. I call as what cost? Expired cost. This goes to what? Next year. I call as what? Unexpired cost. Respond. Yes or no? So the profit is what? Sales minus expired cost. 1 lakh 20 minus 80,000. The profit is 40,000. Am I right or not? Is this right? In a question, this is wrong. This is not correct. This is what? Wrong. Correct now, I need not discuss. Already discussed in the previous slide. Yes or no? Now, this is not correct. This is what? Wrong. Now let us see what is the mistake we have made in this before taking the discussion forward. Up to this, are you following what I am saying? Now. So now again I say, how much cost is spent in this year? Mottam cost total. How much cost is spent in this year? 1 lakh. What is that 1 lakh? Material, wages, administration, selling expenses. The total how much is here? 1 lakh. This 1 lakh is spent for producing how many units? 10,000. What is sold? 8,000. At what selling price? 15. And this is how I did the calculation. Can I proceed? Now, this is not correct. I say this is what? Wrong. What is wrong in this? The question arises. Now, the mistake is in stock valuation. Mistake in what? Stock valuation. I am incorrectly, wrongly valuing what? Stock. Okay. Now, my question is, stock should be valued at selling price or cost price? That we all know. It should be valued at what? Cost. Stock should be valued at total cost or manufacturing cost. Now we learn that stock should not be valued at total cost. Stock should be valued at what cost here? Manufacturing cost. Selling expenses and administration expenses should not go into what? The stock valuation. Second lesson. Everybody following? To value my stock, I should not value my stock at full cost. I should value only my stock at what cost? Manufacturing cost. Suppose I produce a mouse. I did not sell it. I have produced a mouse. I did not what? Sell it. This mouse will be in my closing stock or not? Somebody asked me, sir, what is the value of this mouse in closing stock? Will I value the closing stock at selling price of the mouse or cost price or cost price? When I value the mouse consumes a material. Consumes a material or not? Yes. The mouse has got some wage cost inside or not? Yes, sir. But I don't charge selling expenses. I don't charge what administration because it has not been spent on this most. Because selling expenses spent only on the units sold, not on units unsold. Everybody yes or no? So when I go for the stock valuation, I value my stock not at full cost. I value my stock at what cost? Manufacturing cost. Right or not? Now, if you don't understand this, we have seen this in the CPAT and school days also. Tell me, you prepare two accounts, trading account, P&L account. What are two accounts you prepare? Trading account, P&L account. I ask you one by one, tell me where you will debit. Material purchase, where you debit? Trading account. Factory wages, where you debit? Office salaries, P&L account. Salesman commission, P&L account. Factory rent, what account here? Trading account. Office rent. Depreciation on factory machinery, trading account. Depreciation on office computer. That means we all have been doing till now that all manufacturing cost is debited in what? Trading account. All non-manufacturing debited in what? P&L account. Yes or no? Administration selling debited in what account? P&L. And manufacturing trading account. Yes or no? Okay, next question. Did you understand this or not? When a closing stock I write now, I write buy closing stock in trading a P&L. So, buy closing stock entry you put on not, you put it in trading account, P&L account. So, when I write buy closing stock in trading account, I had debited at that time only manufacturing cost. Yes or no? Correct? Now, the administration selling and all is not debited at the time of crediting the closing stock in the trading account. Yes or no? It comes only after what? The gross profit. Right or not? In that case, the trading account closing stock will be valued only at what cost? Manufacturing cost. Should not be valued at what? Administration selling cost. Accepted? In that case, now we have made a mistake of valuing the stock at what? The full cost. The 10 rupees includes an administration expense as well as what? The selling expense. We should not value the stock at 10 rupees. In fact, to produce how many units? 10,000 units. I incur only production cost. For production, what cost is incurred? Production cost. For production, I don't incur what? Administration selling cost. Right or not? So, to produce 10,000 units, how much have incurred here? 80,000. What is cost of producing 1 unit? 8 rupees. Right or not? My closing stock should be valued not at 10. It should be valued how much rupees here? 8 rupees. Here the lesson number 2. Everybody understood or not? Now, tell me. Stock should be valued at selling price or cost price? At total cost or manufacturing cost? At manufacturing cost. Right or not? Now, let me just go for the further discussion. Now, this is right or wrong or wrong? This is wrong. So, absolutely no. Is this right means what? Absolutely no. For stock valuation, we should consider only manufacturing cost. Administration and selling cost should be ignored for what? Stock valuation. Either in detail. Now, let me now go for the next stage. Cost per unit. What is material cost? 15,000. What is manufacturing wages? 30,000. What is the total manufacturing cost? 80,000. This manufacturing cost is incurred to manufacture how many units here? 10,000. What is the manufacturing cost per unit? 8 rupees. Accept or not? Now, look at this. 80,000. What 80,000? Manufacturing cost. I classify into two types, namely cost of goods sold. First is what? Cost of goods sold. Next is what? The closing stock. How many units are sold? 8,000. What is the cost per unit? 8. What is the cost of goods sold here? 64,000. Now, how many units unsold? 2,000. What is the cost per unit? 8. What is the closing stock here? 16,000. Respond yes or no? Now, the 64,000 is called as what? Cost of goods sold. Will be reduced against sales to calculate gross profit. Yes or no? This becomes what cost? Expired cost. The 16,000 goes to what? Next year. It becomes what? The unexpired cost. Up to this manufacturing cost only discuss. Are you following what I am saying? Apart from 80, I'm going to have what? 20,000. What is 20,000? Administration and selling expenses. It is always going to expire fully because it does not go into stock valuation. Everybody following? Are you following what I am saying? So, administration and selling expense is going to expire what? Fully. Manufacturing expense alone expires to the extent of what? Cost of goods sold and remains unexpired extent of the closing stock. This discussion, are you following? Can I proceed? Now, if you don't understand, now you will understand. Okay, see. Let us go back to our accountancy. What do you prepare? Trading account. சொல்லுப்பா trading accountல 2 what materials. How much rupees? Note about how much rupees it is here? 50,000. 2 what? Wages. How many days? 30,000. Right or not? No. Will it debit to administration expense? To selling expense? Why? All this comes in what account? P&L account. Now, credit side what? By sales. What's the sales amount? Tungada. How much sales amount? 1,20,000. 8,000 into 15, 1,10,000. By what? Closing stock. Closing stock should be valued at selling price or cost price or cost price. Full cost or manufacturing cost or manufacturing cost. What stock value? 16,000. 2,000 units in stock at 8 rupees per unit. Yes or no? Now, if I total the trading account credit side, what the total? 1,36,000. Minus what? 80. I get profit, gross profit, gross profit. Profit that comes out of factory, I call as what? Gross profit. What the gross profit? 56,000. Accept or not? No. By gross profit brought down, we have 56,000. Yes or no? Then in against gross profit, you debit what? Administration as well as what? Selling. What is to administration? 10,000. To selling, how much is going to be? 10,000. Administration, printing and stationery, office salaries, etc., etc. Selling means what? Advertisement, the sales promotion, etc., etc. Tell me, what the profit on this company? 36,000. What a profit here? 36,000. Is the right way of doing it? Innappa right? No. See, I have debited 80,000 manufacturing cost, 20,000 administration selling cost. Yes or no? The place I debit different. I debited the 80,000 manufacturing cost in which account? Trading account, and 20,000 in what? P&L account. In our account. Yes or no? No. Because this 80,000 will not be fully debited this year, because from this 80,000, 16,000 goes to what? Next year. Balance 64,000 only the net debit in the current year. Yes or no? So the 80,000 manufacturing cost expires only to the extent of what? 64,000 cost of goods sold. Does not expire to the extent of what? Closing stock 16,000 goes next accounting period. Point number 1. Accepted. But in case of the administration selling, how much is debited? 20,000. Everything goes next year, everything same year expiring, same year expiring. So it is going to be fully expiring in the current year. Ennappa right or not? So what goes to stock goes to next year. What does not consider for stock valuation is going to expire in what? Same year. Is the discussion I wanted to make. Enna right? So ultimately all this leave it. The lesson we have learned is, what lesson we have learned? Stock valuation, you should consider only what cost? Manufacturing cost. Non-manufacturing cost should not be considered for stock valuation. Up to this criteria. Now, let me come to the heading. Product cost and period cost. What is a product cost? Those costs which are considered to value stock is called as what? Product cost. What is period cost? Those costs which are not considered to value stock is called as what? Period cost. Ennappa, yes or no? Okay. Now, what cost is considered for stock valuation? Manufacturing cost. So, all manufacturing costs are all what costs? Yeah? Product cost. What costs are not considered for stock valuation? Non-manufacturing cost. Then what? Administration and selling. All non-manufacturing costs are what cost? Period cost. So, product cost is considered for stock valuation. Period cost not considered for what? Stock valuation. What is a product cost? Manufacturing cost are all product cost. What is period cost? Non-manufacturing cost are all period cost. Accept or not? No. Product cost expires only when the product is sold. Yes or no? Product cost expires only when the product is sold. The product is not sold, the product cost with the closing stock goes next year. Yes or no? Period cost expires not based on product, based on what? Period. If the administration expense of this year expires what? This year itself. Everybody yes or no? In that case, period cost expires fully. Product cost expires only to the extent of what? Cost of goods sold. Does not expire to the extent of the closing stock. Yes or no? And accounting terms, and to put it simply, trading account cost are all product cost, and P&L account cost can be called as what? Period cost. Yes or no? Now look at this. There are two types of cost: product cost, period cost. Yeah, unexpired cost, expired cost. Tell me, product cost remains unexpired to the extent of what? Closing stock. Expires to the extent of what? Cost of goods sold. Period cost expires what? Fully. Is the difference between product cost and period cost? Right or not? No. So this is already discussed now. What is product cost? Those costs conserved for stock valuation. What is period cost? Not conserved for stock valuation. All manufacturing costs, all non-manufacturing costs appears in trading, appears in P&L. Product has expressed extent of goods sold and remains unexpressed extent of closing stock. Period cost expires fully. Difference between product cost and period cost. Ennappa, right or not? Okay, now, sir, why we are discussing all this? You may ask, first of all, are you awake? Those who are listening, raise your hand. The hand raising always ask you, can I proceed? Now, see. Why we are discussing all this? We are doing all this for the purpose of stock valuation, profit calculation. That's our objective, right or not? Why the cost is classified? Stock valuation, profit calculation. Very simple. Profit is equal to what? Sales minus expired cost. So then what cost expires? What cost what? Unexpires. The answer is product cost expires to the extent of what? Cost of goods sold and does not expire to the extent of what? Closing stock. Period cost expires what? Fully. To know what is expiring, know what is not expiring, I should know what is product and period cost. Yes or no? So sales minus expired cost profit. Now what expires? Period cost expires fully and product cost expires only to the extent of what? Cost of goods sold is the answer. Now the question. So then tell me what is product cost? What is period cost? Product costs are those costs conserved for stock valuation and period costs are not conserved for stock valuation. So tell me what is conserved for stock valuation? Manufacturing cost. What is not considered? Non-manufacturing cost. All this I am classifying because for what? Profit calculation, stock valuation. It's or no? ரொம்ப simple. Office rent also cost only. Factory rent also cost. Both are rent only. Right or not? I pay rent for my factory. I pay rent for my what? Office. Both are rent only. Na? Both are rent only. Will I classify as rent? No, I classify as what? Office rent, factory rent. Because factory rent is a product cost. Office rent is what? Period cost. Factory rent goes into what? Stock value. Office rent will not go into what? Stock value. To value my stock, I require this calculation, classification. Yes or no? To calculate my profit, I require this one? Classification. So the cost are classified as product period because for what? Valuing my stock and calculating my profit. Are you following the logic or sequence or not? Now, with this we complete the discussion regarding what? Product cost and period cost. Let's copy up to this before we go for the next stage. A long copying to be done, but do it very fast before that. Now, I'll consolidate before I give you time to copy. First, profit is equal to what? Sales minus expired cost. What is expired cost? Cost charged against current year sales. Now the question is, what cost expires? What cost expires fully? Period cost. What cost expires only to the extent of cost of goods sold? Product cost. What is a product cost? Manufacturing cost. What period cost? Non-manufacturing cost. Product cost considered for stock valuation. Period cost not considered for stock valuation. Product cost appears in period cost appears in what? P&L account. Now we are having the clarity regarding how the profits are calculated or not. No. Please copy this example. Give the heading product cost, period cost. I think example has been copied or not? No. Write down first. Can I put the next slide down? No. Is this right question? Tell me the answer. No. Absolutely no. Okay, I'm just very cautious. It will never be what? Right. Absolutely no. Before I put the next slide, tell me what is the mistake here? Stock should be valued not at total cost, but at what cost? Manufacturing cost. For stock valuation, continue writing. For stock valuation, we should consider only. For stock valuation, we should consider only manufacturing cost. For stock valuation, we should consider only manufacturing cost. Administration cost and selling cost. Administration cost and selling cost should be ignored for stock valuation. Administration cost and selling cost should be ignored for stock valuation. Administration cost and selling cost should be ignored for stock valuation. Should be ignored for stock valuation. Everybody, are you following her? Now, next. copy the slide quickly. Finish copying, huh? Those who are not copying, please raise your hand. Shall I proceed above? Can I proceed further? Now. So now we are classifying the 1 lakh into expired and unexpired. The 20,000 expires fully. The 18,000 expires only to the extent of 64,000 and 16,000 is unexpired. Let's copy this quickly. Those who are not copied, raise your hand. Shall I proceed now? Now. Finish copying, huh? Shall I proceed now? Now. Finish copying, huh? Now. I think everybody has finished copying or not? Okay. Now, again understand what we are discussing, why we are discussing. All are cost only. Everything is what? Cost only. But we classify. We what? Classify. We classify some cost as product and some cost as what? Period. Why? Then only we'll know what expires and what does not expire. Because we say period cost expires fully and product cost expires only to the extent of cost of goods sold. Now the question is, so why should we know what is expired and what is unexpired cost? Because the profit is what? Sales minus expired cost. So to know the profit, I should know what is expiring. To know what is expiring, what should be product and period cost. So it's a logical flow of the discussion. Ennappa, right or not? Now, the question is, sir, what is product cost? It is manufacturing cost. What is period cost? It is non-manufacturing cost. Then you put the question back to me. Sir, tell me what is manufacturing, what is administration, what is selling cost? That question asked no. Correct. Only when I know what is a manufacturing cost and non-manufacturing cost, I know what is a product cost and period cost. Only when I know what is product and period, I know what is expired, what is unexpired. Then only I will know how to value my stock and how to find out my profit. Yes or no? That means to know a product and period cost, I should know which costs are all manufacturing, which costs are what? Non-manufacturing. So the next discussion is what? Manufacturing, administration, selling and distribution cost. Innappa, right or not? A top-down approach we are doing now. Can I proceed now? Now the question is, so what is manufacturing cost, what is administration cost, what is selling cost, and what is distribution cost? In the next classification, right or not? Now, see. To put it simply, manufacturing cost, a very primitive way of understanding is factory cost. Remember, all costs spent in factory is what? Manufacturing cost. Correct answer. What is manufacturing cost? All the costs you spent in what? Factory can be called as what cost? Yeah? Manufacturing cost. Very crude way of understanding it, but nothing wrong. Are you following not? Now, a better way of defining is all costs which I spend from the time I purchase a raw material till I pack my finished goods. All the costs I just incur from the time I do what? The raw material purchase. I stop purchase raw material not. From the time I purchase raw material till what? The primary packing of finished goods is over. Whatever I spend in between are all what cost here? Manufacturing cost. So what is the manufacturing cost? All costs which I spend from the time I purchase what? Raw material till I what? Do a primary packing of what? Finished goods. Whatever spent is called as what cost? Manufacturing cost. Right or not? Now, let's have a much more detailed discussion regarding the manufacturing cost. Okay, see. Manufacturing cost can be classified into three. Materials, wages, and then expenses. What is the manufacturing cost? Material, wages, and then what? Expenses. To produce a table, I require a raw material. Yes or no? To produce a table, there should be worker working to produce a table. Right or not? To produce a table, I require power. I require what? Room and so on. I pay power cost, rent, etc. So one is material, another is what? Labor, and that is what? Expenses. So the three manufacturing costs: material, labor, expenses, or material, wages, expenses, or the three manufacturing cost categories, etc. or not? Okay, now all the three can be subclassified into two, namely direct material, indirect material, direct wages, indirect wages, direct expenses, and indirect expenses. Everybody following or not? Now, each item of manufacturing cost can either be direct manufacturing cost or what? Indirect manufacturing cost. So it is classified into direct and then what? Indirect. I'll give an example. Now, tell me, I am a person who is making furniture and selling. What is my business here? Manufacturing furniture and then what? Selling. Tell me, wood for a table is what material? Direct material. It is directly used in what? Table. Okay. The wood for the table is direct material. Accept that. Now, what happens is, I cut the wood, manufacture the table. Okay. Then the table will be having rough edges. Rough edges, not smooth. The table will be what? Very rough. The table is what? Very rough. I want to make it smooth. What do is, I take a sandpaper and then what? Rub it. I take what? Sandpaper and what? Rub it to smoothen the surface. Are you understanding what I am saying? So, wood is there, sandpaper is there, both are material. Yes or no? Wood is what material? Direct material. The sandpaper is what? Indirect material. No, another example simply. See, I am manufacturing some pipes. I am manufacturing what? Pipes. In that, the steel is what? The iron is what? Direct material. Okay, now, when I have stock of iron rods, what happens is, you may have rust. You may have what? Rust. To remove the rust, I use what? A sandpaper. The sandpaper is what? Indirect material. So, material can be of two types, direct and then what? Indirect. What is directly going into the product is called as what? Direct material. Other materials are indirect material. Another example. For this table, the carpenter wages is what wages? Direct wages is directly engaged in the table manufacturing. Yes or no? Now, my factory is having 100 carpenters. How many carpenters here? 100 carpenters. I am having two supervisors to supervise them. Everybody following not? Now, tell me, carpenter is working in what? Factory. Supervisor also works in what? Factory only. Both the wages are manufacturing wages. But the carpenter wages is what? Direct. And supervisor is what? Indirect. Both are manufacturing, but one is direct and another is what? Indirect. Everybody, yes or no? Can I say not? Now, expenses. We generally classify as direct and indirect expenses. All over the world, all expenses are only indirect. There's nothing, we call it as what? Direct expenses. In most of the book like Drury, Hongren, in ICMA problems and all, they never use something else as what? Direct expenses. All expenses are all what? Indirect expenses only. But in our books, if they use the word direct expenses, write as direct expenses. I don't want to give any example of what? Direct expenses. All expenses are what expenses? Indirect expenses only, but still we classify as what? Direct and indirect, just for academic purpose. Can I proceed or not? No. So these are the three types of cost. Now tell me, in a factory, what are three types of cost I spend? Material, wages, and expenses. Material can be classified into two. One to the direct, indirect. Wages, direct, indirect. Expenses, direct, indirect. All this, what a common thing. Everything is what? Manufacturing only. Yes or no? Now, what I do is, this direct material, the direct wages, and what? Direct expenses. When I want total, I get something called as prime cost. I get something called as what cost here? Prime cost. Here also we call as direct cost. Also called as what cost here? Direct cost. Prime cost or direct cost is nothing but what? Direct materials plus direct wages plus direct expenses is called as what? Prime cost. Now, apart from this, in factory, I also spend what? Indirect materials, and then what? Indirect wages, and what? Indirect expenses. These are indirect costs or not, which I give the name called as overheads. I give the name called as what? Overheads. So there are two types of manufacturing costs: direct manufacturing costs, indirect manufacturing cost. Direct manufacturing costs are given the name what? Prime cost, and indirect costs are called as what? Overhead. Both are what? Manufacturing costs. So why should we classify it as prime cost and what? Overheads? I will not be able to tell you now. I'll tell you after 1 month. Once I complete after what? Overheads. Just to put in ears, you need to understand prime costs are directly charged to the stock. Overheads come to a stock using an absorption process. Using what process here? Absorption process. What it is we'll be discussing later. For stock valuation, prime cost also considered. Overheads also what? Considered. When I value the mouse, it includes what? Direct as well as what? Indirect cost. Only thing is direct costs are directly charged. Indirect costs are charged using a procedure called as what? Absorption. What it is, we'll be discussing in the chapters later, in the chapter called as overheads. Up to this, are you following not? So this is what we call as a manufacturing cost sheet. Can I present or not? Now, so this is how the cost sheet looks like. Yeah, tell me what the first item? Direct materials, direct wages, direct expenses will be called as prime cost. Add what? Manufacturing overheads gives you manufacturing cost. This manufacturing cost we also call as factory cost. Also called as what? Factory cost. Also called as works cost. Also called as what cost here? Works cost. Works cost, factory cost, manufacturing cost, production cost. All are what? Same only. They represent the cost spent inside the factory of an organization. Up to this, everybody understanding about the manufacturing cost on clarity? No. Right off. Next, give the heading. Manufacturing, administration and selling and distribution expenses. Finish copying, huh? See, throughout the subject, our focus will be mainly on manufacturing expenses. Administration selling expenses is not going to be so much concentrated because they are going to be total as period cost debited to what account? P&L account. No need to have so much discussion about them. Entire subject mainly focuses on what cost here? Manufacturing cost. Mainly costing is a subject that is more factory based. Everybody following what I am saying? We are going to focus more on the manufacturing cost rather than administration and selling cost. Okay, now just to have a clarification, let me ask you some questions. You tell me what you are going to do regarding that. Okay, now I am a manufacturer and seller of a furniture. I am manufacturer and seller what? Furniture. Tell me, I purchase wood. I purchase what? Wood. It is what cost? It is what cost? Direct material. I debit in trading account, P&L account. Trading account. Now, my company is having 100 carpenters. Having what? 100 carpenters. Direct cost, indirect cost, direct cost. I debit in trading account or P&L account? Trading account. For 100 carpenter, I have a factory supervisor. I have what? Factory supervisor. Direct labor, indirect labor? Indirect labor. I debit in trading or P&L? Trading or P&L? Trading only. Again I say, don't think that indirect cost are period cost. Not so. Direct cost and indirect cost. Both are manufacturing. Supervisor salary also manufacturing cost only. Carpenter salary also what? Manufacturing cost only. Only thing is, one is direct manufacturing cost and there is what? Indirect manufacturing cost. Whether the manufacturing cost may be direct or maybe what? Indirect. Both will go into stock valuation because stock is valued at manufacturing cost. Isn't it? I did not use anywhere the word stock valued at direct manufacturing cost. Stock is valued at what cost here? Manufacturing cost. I value stock at manufacturing cost, not at prime cost. Everybody, are you understanding or not? No. So whether the cost is direct manufacturing or what? Indirect manufacturing, it goes into the value of the stock. Yes or no? What I wanted to say is, even as direct material, suppose this mouse consumes 2 kgs of plastic, I can directly identify how much plastic is in this mouse and find it out. Yes or no? But how much is a room rent inside the mouse, I cannot find out. Yes or no? Factory rent is or not? For manufacturing a mouse, I incur a factory. The factory rent is manufacturing cost, selling cost, administration, manufacturing cost. Factory rent is manufacturing cost only. But what manufacturing cost? Indirect manufacturing cost, because I cannot find out the factory rent inside a single mouse. Everybody, are you following what I am saying? In that case, factory rent also will go into stock valuation using a procedure called as what? Absorption, and the direct cost goes directly into what? Stock valuation without any problem. Everybody follow what I am saying? I classify the cost as direct cost, indirect cost, only to identify the procedure in which it goes into stock valuation, and no dispute that both will go into what? Stock valuation. Everybody following what I am saying? Now, so that means all this cost, material, wages, expenses, all these costs are what? Manufacturing cost. All these costs are what? Product cost. All goes into what? Stock valuation. But we classify them into how many times here? 2 times. Direct manufacturing, indirect manufacturing. Direct manufacturing called as what? Prime cost. Indirect called as what? Overhead. The reason is prime cost is directly traced to the stock. Overhead is traced to a process called as what? Absorption. How it happens, we will discuss in the overhead chapter later. One of the interesting chapters. Everybody understood or not? Now, so this is regarding the manufacturing cost. Now, no need to do R&D and all for administration and what? Selling. Very simple. What is administration cost? Office expenses. What is administration cost here? Office expenses. Yes or no? No. Tell me some examples of administration cost. Office salary, office rent, printing and stationery, auditor fees, all are what? Okay, postage. I think you can post office move it, yes or no? So now it has become email, yes or no? In the case what? Postage, internet charges, telephone expenses, all these are what cost? Administration cost. What is administration cost here? Office cost. Can be called as administration cost. Tell me examples of selling cost. Advertisement, sales promotion, salesman salary, salesman commission, or all what cost? Selling cost. Selling and also what? Distribution. Cost of distributing the goods to what? Customer. It may be what? The delivery van. We have what? The petrol charges or delivery van what? Depreciation. Warehouse rent. Where I have warehouse or I keep it and what? Distribute. All this can be called as what? Distribution cost. Nobody distinguishes. They simply call as what? Selling and distribution cost. Hyderabad, Secunderabad. Yes or no? Yeah, correct. So we don't want distinguish very greatly. Hyderabad includes what? Secunderabad also. Right or not? Yeah, correct. So Kerala, what do you say? Ernakulam, Cochin. You say Ernakulam and what? Cochin. We don't say separately. Both are what? Same city. I always call as what? Selling and distribution. Rama, Lakshmana, okay. So Lakshmana will never be separated or looked upon separately. We can simply call as what? Selling and distribution cost. Even though both are separate, they always are used to what? Together. Selling and distribution overheads. Enough right or not? So these are the different types of cost classification. The remaining is very simple. They are what expenses? Corporate office expenses. And expenses incurred to promote the sales of the product. Expenses incurred to what? Distribute the products or administration, selling and what? Distribution cost. Above this, we need not think very deeply because whatever they may be, I'll be totaling it and debiting in what account? P&L account. I am not worried about them for stock valuation, absorption, etc. Everybody following on. Our subject mainly focus on what cost here? Manufacturing cost. Yes or no? The cost sheet becomes very complex only due to manufacturing cost or not due to administration or selling cost. They are simply period cost debited to the P&L. That's all. Everybody understood or not? No. Please copy the slide quickly before you go for the last discussion in the first slot. Finish copying, huh? Shall I proceed? Now. So, there are three main activities performed by the company: manufacturing activity, administration, selling and distribution activity. For whatever activity a cost is spent, it becomes that particular cost. Okay. A worker is working in a factory. What activity is performing? Manufacturing activity. His cost is called as what? Manufacturing cost. A person is working in office. He performs what activity? Administration. Administration means that is devising plans, giving directions for the company. We call as what? Administration. So a person is working in the office. He is also working only, but his wages is called as what wages? Administration wages. Suppose a person is a salesman. What activity is doing? Is doing a selling activity. It becomes a selling cost. The spot is on. Now, I purchase a raw material. I purchase what? Raw material. This raw material is purchased for what activity? Manufacturing activity. It becomes what? Manufacturing cost. I purchase a paper for what? Doing the office, say records and all. It is called as what? A printing and stationery. It becomes what? Administration activity. Respond is or no. I purchase a banner for what? Displaying advertisement. It is called as what? Selling. So whatever cost I spend, see for what purpose I am spending. Am I spending for manufacturing activity or administration activity or selling activity? That way it should be classified. Enough for right or not? Now, I ask you one more example. There's a big factory place. Sorry, there's a big what I say? Land. Okay, the big land. In the land only, the company is having a factory as well as what? An office as well as what? A sales depot. And what I'm saying? So for that place, they're paying a rent. Okay, the rent is manufacturing, administration, or selling. Did you understand the question or not? So, there's a big place they have taken on rent here. In the big place, what I did, I just bifurcated into three. One is a factory, another is what? A corporate office, and third is what? A sales depot. Okay. Now tell me the factory, the rent which I pay is a manufacturing, administration, or selling. What you should do is, you should always try to what? Classify. We cannot say all the three because then I cannot know how much is product and period. So now what I should do, I should somehow divide the rent into what? Three based on area occupied and say this portion of rent is what? Manufacturing, and that portion of rent is what? Administration. This is what is selling. So the administration selling rent expires fully and manufacturing goes to what? The stock valuation. Everybody follow what I'm saying? So whenever a company wants to calculate profit and value of stock, it should necessarily know what all its manufacturing cost, what all is administration, and what all is selling cost. Then only profit calculation can be made. Everybody understood what I am saying? So with this, one main discussion has been completed. Now reverse. Cost and all, whichever costs are incurred, I classify them into three categories. What three categories? Manufacturing, administration, selling. Once I classify as manufacturing, administration, selling, I classify them into two categories. What are two categories? Product, period. What is product? Manufacturing. What is period? Non-manufacturing. So once I classify as product and period, the period is fully what? Expired. The product expires. What is the extent of what? Cost of goods sold. And what goes to stock here? The balance. Yes or no? That means the expired cost goes against what? Sale to calculate the profit. This is the way of calculating profit of an organization. Innappa, right or not? Can I proceed further? Now, the last is job cost and unit cost. Regarding stock valuation, not a main theme but a miscellaneous discussion. Okay, job cost and then what? Unit cost. We'll study some chapters regarding this later. Job cost and then unit cost. The last discussion. Can I start or not? Now, see. Stock should be valued at cost. Right or not? When the goods are sold, it becomes cost of goods sold. Not sold becomes what? Closing stock. I'll give you an example. You tell me the answer. I have incurred 10 lakh rupees as manufacturing cost. How much manufacturing cost here? 10 lakh rupees as manufacturing cost to manufacture 1 lakh pens. 1 lakh what here? Pen here. To manufacture what? 1 lakh pens. 10 lakh rupees spent to manufacture what? 1 lakh pens. 80,000 pens sold, 20,000 pens what? Not sold. This is detail. Yes or no? Tell me. What is cost of goods sold? What is closing stock? 10 lakh rupees is what? The total manufacturing cost. And 1 lakh pen has been manufactured. 80,000 has been sold. 20,000 has not been what? Sold. Tell me, what is the cost of goods sold? What is the closing stock value? 8 lakh cost of goods sold, 2 lakhs what? Closing stock value. How you found out? 10 lakhs is the cost of producing 1 lakh pen. What is the cost of every pen manufacturing? 10 rupees. When 80,000 pen has been sold, it becomes what? Manufacturing cost of goods sold, and the balance is what? Closing stock. Yes or no? That means, I say that the manufacturing cost of every pen is 10 rupees. Yes or no? Now, my question is, did I find out the cost of every pen separately? How much is the plastic inside this pen? What is the refill cost inside this pen? What are the worker wages? Did I find out the cost of every pen separately? I found out the cost on an average basis. Because I simply took what? Total manufacturing 10 lakhs and how many pen manufactured? 1 lakh pen. I said cost per pen is what? 10 rupees. I did not value the pen separately. I valued the pen on an average cost basis. Respond. Yes or no? Now, keep this in mind. I'll come back to this once again. Okay, let me give another example. See, I constructed 4 buildings. I constructed what? 4 buildings. Spending around 10 crore rupees. How much rupees here? 10 crore rupees. What is the cost of construction here? 10 crore. How many buildings constructed? 4 buildings. Now, out of it, 3 buildings sold, 1 building unsold. What is sold here? 3 buildings has been sold. 1 is what? Unsold. Tell me, what is cost of goods sold? What is closing stock? 7.5 crores is what? Cost of goods sold. And 2.5 crores is what? Closing stock. How you said? 10 crore is for 4 buildings. What is the cost of 1 building? 2.5 crores. And what is the number of buildings sold? 3 buildings. 7.5 cost of goods sold. 2.5 what? Closing stock. Yes or no? Okay, now, answer my question once again. I spent how much crores? 10 crores. For construction, how many buildings there? 4 buildings. Out of the 4 buildings, 1 is a hut. 1 is what? A small hut. Another is a flat. The second is what? A flat. Third is a bungalow. That is what? A bungalow. And fourth is a small independent house. Okay. Now tell me, all the 4 cost 2.5 crores. In a question, can I say cost per building 10 crores divided by what? 4 is equal to what? 2.5 crore. Cost of goods sold 7.5. Closing stock is what? 2.5. Can I say like that? Is it right or wrong? Why you say wrong? Because we all know that cost of a hut, cost of a bungalow, cost of a flat and a small independent house cannot be what? Same. Now, in that case, what we will do, we should collect the cost for every building separately. Every building what? Separately. A cement bag, material issued. Now, for what building issued? For bungalow, na book under what? Bungalow, the cost. If I issue as a center worker to work in what? A hut building, I also book the labor to what? The hut and so on. I have to collect the cost separately. Yes or no? Suppose the bungalow cost is 6 crores. Bungalow ka how much is 6 crores. The flat is 2 crores. How much it is 8 crores. A small building is what 1.5 crores. Guess you want 9.5. The hut is what 50 lakhs. In that case, tell me the bungalow, flat, and then what the small house has been sold. Hut is what unsold. What the closing stock value 50 lakhs. 9.5 lakhs becomes what the cost of goods sold. Enough, I don't know. Understand what I'm saying? In this case, I don't find the stock value on an average basis. I collect it individually. I saw no. So there are two types of stock valuation systems. One is where a value may stock on average basis and where value may stock on what? Individual basis. The first system I call as unit costing system and second is called as what? Job costing system are the two famous costing systems in all the industries. Everybody following all. Now I'll give you an example. Now let's take let's take what? Two companies. Okay. Now Renault is a company. It manufactures what? Pens. It finds out the stock value on average basis or on individual basis. Renault cannot find the cost of every pen separately. Not possible. Yes or no? It finds on what basis? Average basis. Yes or no? Now, another example is L&T. Another is what? L&T. What is the business of L&T? They do what? Projects and what? Construction. Okay. They are constructing 3 or 4 complexes here and there or infrastructure project. Okay. They follow what system? Job costing. A special type called as what? Contract costing or job costing, because they are not doing similar jobs. They are doing what? Different jobs. Everybody follow what I am saying? So company which are manufacturing same type of goods on mass scale will use what system? Unit costing system for stock valuation. Company will manufactures what? Varieties of goods on different bases. Uses what system? Job costing system. Everybody are you follow what I am saying? So these are the two types of costing system that is going to value the stock. One value stock at average cost, another value stock on what? Individual basis. We'll discuss this more elaborately. Discuss a chapter like process costing, contract costing, etc. Everybody understanding it or not? Now, there are two types of costing systems. Now, look at this. Job cost, unit cost. Cost ascertain what? On individual basis. I don't say 10 crores by 4 buildings, 2.5 crores per building. I find out the cost for what? Every building separately by having a separate notebook. Any what I'm saying? Now, in this case what? Cost ascertained on average basis. Job costing using industries manufacturing customer specific goods. Two products are not same. Okay. These are used in what? Industries manufacturing goods on homogeneous goods on mass scale. Is what we call as job cost and unit cost. Why we classify? Because in this case, I value my stock at average cost. Here my value my stock at what? The individual cost. So the stock valuation obviously affects what? Profit calculation. Hence this discussion has been discussed as a miscellaneous discussion. With this, the first slot has been what? Completed. Now, if you look at our slide, what was the first slide we discussed here? Look at this. Okay, we completed this lane. What is it here? Cost is classified for the purpose of what? Stock valuation, profit calculation. Whatever I spend is what cost. The rent I pay is cost only. The wages I pay is what cost only. Printing and station also is what cost only. Advertisement also is what cost. Everything is what cost. But whatever I spend as cost, I divide it. I want classified into what? Manufacturing, non-manufacturing. Why should I divide the cost into manufacturing, non-manufacturing? So that non-manufacturing expires fully and manufacturing only to the extent of what? Cost of goods sold. To class as product cost and period cost. Why should I do? Then only I will be able to know what is expired, what is unexpired. Then only I can calculate my stock value and calculate my profit appropriately. That is why we classify the cost in different manner. Everybody understood or not? With this, that this stage has been completed. I think you have to write the notes for what? Job cost and unit cost. Now, please copy that quickly. Shall we proceed up? Okay. Now, with this we have completed one discussion regarding cost classification for stock evaluation and profit calculations. Okay. Now, we are only laying a groundwork or a base for us to understand the later chapter. Based on this discussion only, I will be discussing in another class an area called as cost sheet. Cost sheet mainly depends on this classification of product cost and period cost. Can I proceed? Now, the another reason why I want to classify cost is what? Decision making. For decision making, tell me how I classify my cost? Variable, fixed, semi-variable. Or I classify as sunk cost or opportunity cost, marginal cost, etc. There I don't worry about whether the cost is product or period or manufacturing, non-manufacturing. All this will not be seen. When I want to make decision, not to find out P&L profit, when I want to make what? Decision, I go for another type of classification called as what? Variable, fixed, semi-variable, sunk cost, opportunity cost, etc. It will be the second leg of our discussion. Respond yes or no. Now, I'll just have a brief discussion today regarding the variable, fixed, and then what? Semi-variable cost. Can I proceed further? Now. Look at this. Variable and fixed cost. Okay, don't talk. Now, what is a variable cost? What is a fixed cost? You should have known this in the CPT also. Studied in what? Economics. I don't know. Tell me, what is variable cost? What is fixed cost? Variable cost varies. Fixed cost does not vary. Is one way of what? Understanding it. Very simple. Variable cost varies with volume. Fixed cost what? Remains same at all the volumes. The word volume means what? The units or the production, etc. Okay. So variable cost varies with volume. Fixed cost what? Does not vary with the volume. Is the definition of a variable cost and fixed cost. Point number one. Yes or no? Now, for example, take for MTH here, you are having the costing study material written on. Now, costing workbook. This workbook is there now. Tell me this costing workbook cost is what cost? Variable or fixed? Variable or fixed? Variable because 500 student comes means 500 workbooks. 100 comes means what? 100 workbooks and so on. So the workbook cost varies with what? Number of students. We can call it as a variable cost. Right? Now, suppose the room they are having a rent. They are having a room rent. Tell me this room rent is variable or fixed? Why fixed? 100 students also same room rent only have to pay. 800 also what? Same room rent. Are you following what I am saying? So in this room, in final 800 are sitting and IPC now what? 500 sitting. So will the landlord reduce the room rent for the IPCC hours or not? No. Whether they have 800 or 8 or 500 or 5, the rent is what? Same. It is called as what cost? Yeah, fixed cost. Accepted. So fixed cost doesn't vary. Variable cost what? Varies. With what? Volume is the issue. Can I proceed further or not? Now, let's have made some more observations. No, please participate. Material cost 5 per unit and factory rent is how much a base? 12,000. Please answer me. 1,000 units, 2,000 units. And take 2 volumes. Okay. Now, what is the variable cost of 1,000 units? 5,000. 2,000 units? 10,000. What is the fixed cost of 1,000 units? 12,000. 2,000 units? 12,000. Exactly. What is the total cost of 1,000 units? 17,000. 2,000 units? 22,000. Everybody understanding it or not? Now, the variable cost per unit is 5,000 by 1,000 is how much? 5. 10,000 by 2,000 is how much? 5. Fixed cost per unit is 12,000 by 1,000 is 12. 12,000 by 2,000 is 6. The total cost per unit is 17,000 by 1,000 is 17. 22,000 by 2,000 is 11. Respond up to this. Are you following my calculations or not? Yes or no? Now, from this and studies, observe my wordings. Variable costs are those costs which varies in total. Yes or no? What is variable cost here? Those costs which varies in what? Total. But remains constant per unit. Yes or no? Whether I produce 1 unit or 1,000 units or 2,000 units, the variable cost per unit is always what? 5 rupees. They are constant in per unit term but varies in what? Total. These are features of a variable cost. Accepted or not? Now, fixed cost remains constant in what? Total. Whether it's 1000 or 2000, what we say what? 12,000. But the per unit fixed cost changes. Right or not? So now tell me, what is a variable cost? Those costs which varies in what? Total, but constant per unit is called as what cost? Variable cost. When the units increases, the total variable cost increases. When the units decreases, the total variable cost decreases. Observation number 1. Yes or no? No. The per unit variable cost always what? Remain same because it is going to be constant per unit. Come to fixed cost. Fixed cost in total is changing or constant? Constant. Per unit fixed cost varies. When the units increases, fixed cost per unit decreases. When the units decreases, fixed cost per unit increases. Now suppose a room rent is 4 lakhs, 800 students are coming now, 800 will share the room rent. So now only 500 comes in, means what? 500 only will be sharing the room rent. So as a volume increases, fixed cost per unit decreases and vice versa. Innappa right or not? This is the definition of a variable cost and what? Fixed cost. Innappa right or not? Now please answer my question. This is already now discussed now. Variable cost varies along with what? Output level. Fixed cost do not change with the output. Varies in total, constant per unit. Constant in total, but varies per unit. When unit increases, per unit fixed cost decreases and vice versa. Everybody yes or no? No. Now please tell me from this number what this cost is. 1000 units cost 17,000. Everybody respond. 2000 units what the cost here? 22,000. Answer me, is this cost variable or fixed? Did you understand my question or not? Now, I put the data. 1000 units what the cost? 17,000. 2000 what the cost here? 22,000. Answer my question, is this cost fixed? Why it is not fixed? Because fixed na 1000 units 17, 2000 also will be what? 17,000. It is not fixed because it varies in total. Is this cost variable? No. It is not variable because to call a cost variable, it should be what? Constant per unit. 17,000 by 1000 is what? 17. And 22 by 2000 how much? 11. It is neither variable nor what? Fixed. It is called as what cost here? Semi-variable cost. Respond yes or no. What is semi-variable cost here? Cost which is constant neither in total nor in what? Per unit. It will be called as what? Semi-variable cost. Everybody understanding the classification or not? Yes or no? No. So in this semi-variable cost, variable is also there, fixed also is there. Is what one should be understanding. Up to this one stage introduction is over. Now tell me what are the 3 types of cost? Variable, fixed, semi-variable. Variable is always constant per unit. Varies in total. Fixed constant total. Varies per unit. Semi-variable cost neither constant per unit nor constant in total are the 3 types of cost. Now, I'll have one small discussion before I give you time to copy it. Why should we classify the cost as variable, fixed and then what? Semi-variable. What is the use? Question arises. We are doing this for what purpose? Decision making. Now, let us have a small example and then I'll give you time to copy it. See. Selling price 10 per unit, variable cost 6 per unit, fixed cost 10,000. What is fixed cost here? 10,000. Demand is 4,000 units. How many units demand here? 4,000 units. Okay, make it as 1,000 units. Demand how many units here? 1,000 units. Now, tell me. Sales is equal to 1,000 units. I said how much rupees here? 10 rupees. What is the sales amount? 10,000. Accept or not? No. Minus cost. What are 2 types of cost? Variable cost, fixed cost. What is variable cost? 1,000 into 6. How much rupees? 6,000. Now, what is fixed cost? If how much rupees here? 10,000. If I total, the total cost, how much rupees here? 16,000. Okay. Sales is 10,000, cost is was 16,000. I have a profit or loss? Loss. What the loss amount here? 6,000. Now, listen here. All these are budget, not actual decision I am going to make. Next month, that is, this is a month of what? February. March month, my sales director said that March month is a very dull period. Is what very dull period. We don't have great demand. Company can maximum sell only how many units here? 1,000 units. So next month we expect to sell only how many units? 1,000 units. Yes or no? No. Every unit can be sold at 10 rupees. The variable cost how much rupees? 6 rupees. And the fixed cost is 10,000. Now, for the next month we prepared a budget. We prepared what? Budget. What is our expected sales? 10,000. What is our cost? 16,000. The next month the loss is going to be how much rupees here? 6,000. Now, the company director said that next month when we operate our company, we're going to have what? A loss. Let us close the company for what? 1 month and reopen in the April month. Everybody, yes or no? The question புரிஞ்சுதா? No. Because will you spend 16,000 to earn 10,000? No. So the company director said that next month is a last month or not. Why should I work and what? Earn a loss. Let me close the factory for what? 1 month and reopen in what? Month of April where the demand is great. Everybody understanding my discussion? என்னையா புரிஞ்சுதா? No. So tell me, he made a decision to close the factory for 1 month and not go for the 1,000 units demand. Tell me, his decision is correct or wrong? What is this? Very simple. See, I am getting 10,000 rupees what? Revenue. I have to spend how much rupees here? 16,000. Only a fool will spend 16,000 and 10,000. So what I will do? I won't open my factory to incur a loss. Let me close the factory with lock and go away. I'll sleep for 1 month and wake up in what? April month. Come and do the process. What I say? Business is what he say. What he is saying is correct or wrong? Why? Yeah. Will you sell for 10,000 by spending 16,000? 6,000 loss. Why should I operate in loss? Question புரிஞ்சுதா? Tell me, am I right or wrong? His decision is wrong. Because when he close the factory, the sales will not happen. 10,000 rupees is what? Gone. When I close my factory, the variable cost also is what? Saved. Yes or no? No. But by closing the factory, can I avoid a factory rent of 10,000? No. Whether I open the factory or close the factory, the fixed cost anyhow going to be what? Incurred. It is not affected by volume. Yes or no? If I close the factory, my loss is what? 10,000. If I keep it open, the loss is only what? 6,000. Which is better here? 10,000 loss or 6,000 loss? What loss better? 6,000. Now, I am able to make that decision only because I am classifying the cost as what? Variable and fixed. Yes or no? You take an accounting P&L account. Credit side sales. How much rupees? 10,000. Debit side 2 expense. How much rupees? 16,000. They report what? Loss 6,000. You don't know whether it is a good loss or bad loss. You know what I am saying? In that case, unless you classify the 16 into what? Variable and fixed, you will not be able to make it in a position to what? Make a right decision. That is why we should classify the cost as variable cost and then what? Fixed cost. Enna clarity irukka? Ambonu kekara. Yes or no? Should I repeat? Can I proceed? This side listening. Model class bulb by 10. How I can teach the remaining portions? Are you listening or not? Yes, so now tell me, I am able to make, I will suppose I present the statement like this. Sales, how much rupees? 10,000 and minus cost. What is cost here? 16,000. What is the profit? Minus 6,000 is the statement I present. Now tell me, if the expired cost, no problem. What is the profit here? 6,000. Tell me, based on this statement, can I make a correct decision? I cannot make a decision. No, I cannot. Because when I close my factory, in the case, what cost can be saved, what cost cannot be saved, can be known only when I know inside the 16,000 how much is variable, how much is what? Fixed. Because I know the fixed will not move with the volume, variable moves with what? Volume. So to make a correct decision, I should know what cost is variable, what cost is what? Fixed. The traditional product period cost, expert and expert cost will not be helpful for me. I should reclassify as what? Variable and then fixed for my decision making purpose. Right? Now. So now let us conclude our discussion. Now, for decision making, I classify the cost into 3 types. What are 3 types of cost? Variable, fixed, semi-variable cost. Tell me, what is variable cost? Cost that varies in total but remains constant per unit. What is fixed cost? Cost that remains constant in total but varies per unit. Per unit fixed cost reduces when the units increases. Per unit cost fixed cost increases when the units decreases. Semi-variable cost is neither constant per unit nor constant in total. Yes or no? No. Just copy the slide regarding variable and fixed cost. Okay? Now. Variable and fixed cost. Finish copying, huh? Okay. Now, we can continue this discussion in the next class. Next class will be fully about variable and fixed cost aspects. How semi-variable cost should be segregated into variable portion and fixed portion. How we should prepare a flexible budget regarding the variable fixed cost aspects and so on. We'll be discussing mainly the topic variable and fixed cost in the next class. Before that, tell me, number one. Costs are classified for three purposes. What are three purposes? Stock evaluation and profit calculation, decision making and then control. For stock valuation, profit calculation, we classify the cost as expired cost and unexpired cost, product cost and period cost, manufacturing, administration, selling and distribution cost, job cost and then unit cost. What is profit? Profit is equal to sales minus expired cost. What cost expires? What cost does not expire? Period cost expires fully. Product cost expires only to the extent of cost of goods sold. What is product cost? Manufacturing cost. What is period cost? Non-manufacturing cost. Product costs are concerned for stock valuation. Period costs are not concerned for stock valuation. What debit in trading is product. What debit in period is period cost. Now, next is what is manufacturing cost? Materials, wages, expenses. These can be of two types, direct, indirect. Direct costs are all called as prime cost. Indirect is called as what? Overhead. Both goes into what? Stock valuation. Only thing is prime cost goes directly. Overhead comes to a process called as absorption. And then we discuss about stock valuation methods. We can value stock at average cost and an individual cost. We can unit cost and then job cost. For decision making, we classify the cost as variable, fixed and then semi-variable cost. Variable cost varies with the output, constant per unit. Fixed cost constant in total, varies per unit. Fixed cost per unit decreases when the units increases and vice versa. Semi-variable costs are neither constant per unit nor constant in total. We'll continue this in the next class discussion. Okay.